is no secret that the Chicago Bulls need big man help. And there is a certain big man in Minnesota, an all-star center, who you might want to go ahead and check his availability. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk. Back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA here to talk about the Chicago Bulls and talk about a potential trade rumor. Yes, this is a rumor. This is not a report, okay? So don't freak out. It's a rumor, but I want to talk about it with you guys because I think it makes a lot of sense. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so already. Hit the bell icon down below so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Guys, make sure you're following me on all my social media platforms. Let's get into it. All right, so as I mentioned, this is just a rumor. Don't freak out. This has not been reported by anybody legitimate. And usually you would say, Faiz, you only talk about when it's a legitimate report. Well, true, I do. But there are instances when I want to put an idea out there. Who knows who's watching the video? Maybe somebody in the Bulls management, maybe. Who knows? Probably not. But I want to put an idea out there because I am a fan of it, right? So I'm not going to tell you guys that, oh my God, this is being reported. But I want to talk about this because this is something that I do think the Bulls should look into. And that is, of course, the Bulls trading for Karl-Anthony Towns. So I've talked to you guys almost ad nauseum now about the fact that the Bulls need interior help. They need bigs, and they need them bad. All right. And so Wendell Carter Jr. has returned from his injury, and he's, he had a good game against the Houston Rockets, but of course they had no center. Anytime you're going up against PJ Tucker, you should be able to do work, okay? He might be a foot shorter than Wendell Carter Jr. I digress. Point being is I still think the jury is out on WCJ and, of course, Lauri Markkanen, who is still out for the Chicago Bulls. And so that begs the question, with the trade deadline right around the corner, I believe it's in March, AK and Billy Donovan and this new regime are really going to have to take a look and see, okay, are we ready to keep these guys or should we move them? And the guy I keep going back to now is Karl-Anthony Towns. I've mentioned Nikola Vucevic. I've mentioned John Collins. Here's another name for you, Karl-Anthony Towns. He is just 25 years old, all-star center for the Minnesota Timberwolves, former #1 overall pick. We know Cat's a beast, okay? And why am I bringing up Cat? Well, I'm bringing up Cat because the Timberwolves have been a dumpster fire, an absolute dumpster fire. And folks, Zach LaVine should be thanking his lucky stars that the Bulls traded for him and got him the heck out of Minnesota, because that team just can't seem to figure it out, folks. They just can't, all right? And the Timberwolves, they're a dysfunctional franchise, folks. There's no way to put it. They couldn't, use Kevin Garnett. And they had him for how long over there in Minnesota? Couldn't win squat with him. So the Timberwolves, they're an organization that does not know how to win. And so Karl-Anthony Towns, I believe, is starting to realize that. And again, he just signed an extension, which I'll get into in a second here. But I think Cat is realizing, man, I know I'm still very young, but I've been here a number of years now. We haven't progressed. Like, the Timberwolves have not progressed. They had that 1 year with Tibbs when he had Jimmy Butler there that they got to the playoffs, but that was a blip. That was not a trend. This team is not young and upcoming. Yeah, they have another #1 pick this year in Anthony Edwards, but do you really feel good about the future of the Timberwolves? You don't. And so Cat, if I'm Cat, I'm looking at it like, do I really want to waste, the rest of my prime years here with the Timberwolves, knowing what happened with Kevin Garnett? He had to get the heck up out of there to Boston in order for him to win a championship. And I think Cat's thinking that. Again, this is just my 2 cents. I think Cat is thinking that, and I think Cat would be open to a trade. Now, again, he's under contract for 3 more years. He signed a fat extension, well-deserved. 3 more years he's under contract. Could the Bulls look to get Karl-Anthony Towns, who would be a perfect fit on this team? Folks, like, literally he addresses everything, right? He's a center. He can shoot, stretch it out, hit the three. I'm not saying he's the greatest defender, but he's solid. And I would say I'd take him over Nikola Vucevic because of the age. He's 25, Vuce is 30. So Cat would be incredible. Now, I know the question everybody's asking, why on earth, Faiz, would the Timberwolves trade Karl-Anthony Towns? And I get it. They probably wouldn't, and he's under contract. But this is the NBA. Unlike the NFL, where a team like the Houston Texans can hold Deshaun Watson hostage in the NBA when players demand trades. Usually it happens. And so if Cat really wants out, he should demand it. And I should also tell you guys that I believe AK and the front office should reach out and see what it would take for Cat, for the Timberwolves to give up Cat. So what would we have to give them? So Timberwolves could realize too, hey, listen, we got Cat. We just drafted a number 1 overall pick in Anthony Edwards. Are we really ready to do anything? Should we, hit another reset button here? We got kind of misfit pieces, D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley. I'm not sure. So maybe they could be more open to it than we think. Again, just speculation. But here's a trade offer. Let's throw this at the Minnesota Timberwolves, see what they think. We get Cat and Ricky Rubio. Again, we could use some playmaking on this team, obviously. And Rubio's a decent playmaking point guard. And we would give up to the Timberwolves Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., Chandler Hutchinson, Otto Porter Jr., and 2 first-round picks. Now, I know that seems like a lot, Bulls fans, but for a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns, a young, keyword young, all-star center, hard to find those pieces. And he would be a perfect fit alongside Zach LaVine, who's also a young all-star now. And again, you're giving up Lowry and Wendell, which you need to if you're trying to. You have to give up something to give up to get a player like Cat. And then Hutch is a young player that they could be interested. Otto Porter Jr. is more of a salary throw in to make the salaries match here. And then 2 first-round picks. I think this is a fair offer for Cat. I think AK in this front office needs to explore it, because what I'm starting to realize is the picture is becoming clear. A third of the season in, we are starting to see, okay, Zach's separating from the rest of the group. Kobe's having, ups and downs here. Lowry stays hurt. Wendell's been very hurt. Like, there are clear signs now we're getting from the core and who fits and who doesn't. Wendell tends to play better when Lowry's not there. Oh, Lowry tends to play better when Wendell's not there. So things like that. And also the other thing is Zach LaVine plays much better when he's in a lineup alongside like Thaddeus Young and Garrett Temple, as opposed to, the young guys, as opposed to Kobe, as opposed to Pat Will. And you can go look up the numbers. I'm not lying here. You can go look it up. But what does that tell you? That tells you what? Zach LaVine plays better around guys who are better. At this stage of their careers, the vets are obviously better than the young guys. And so that is what the Bulls need. Now, they're not in win-now mode. I'm not saying that. But Cat would be a great piece here. And anytime you have 2 all-stars, you have a better chance at getting that third guy and bringing him onto the team. So that's something I think the Bulls should look into. I certainly would. Go ahead. There's no harm. Just see what is the situation in Minnesota like. Let me just get a phone call in here. Talk to the Timberwolves. Cat, are you interested? Cat, is Cat on the trading block? See what happens. So that's what I would do. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Am I crazy? I don't think I am, but leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.